The recording is paused. So let's wait for just a 1 minute, okay, for 60 seconds and see that whether other students will come or not. Later, then we will start if they come or not. Okay, just let's wait for 60 seconds. Is that fine with everyone? A quick acknowledgement will be good. Better. So before that, can anyone introduce themselves in this 1 minute of time span? Sandeep, can you introduce yourself just for like a 1 minute quick introduction? Okay, no issues. Let's start the session now. Yeah, Sandeep. Abhi. Okay, then you can do translate. Hmm. Just let me know if my screen is what you call visible or not. Just to make you confirmation. Okay. Is my screen visible? The whiteboard. Yes. Thank you for the acknowledgement, Abhi. Okay. Okay. Myself, my name is Sukaran. I am your corporate trainer for this 90 days journey. My experience lies in the data engineering, most probably Azure Cloud. Okay. I have been worked as a freelancer in the organizations like TCS and Deloitte. I worked as a data engineer one, data engineer two. I have built what you call the pipelines of which will process the transactions. Mostly I worked for the financial organization called as fintech organizations, namely Paygy as well. Paygy is a payment gateway which I have been worked as a data engineer to create the pipelines and manage the data over there. Okay, so I know exactly what will break the code and what will work the code, and most importantly, what are the concepts which will get you hired. Okay, so in this 90 days journey, I could give you three promises. Okay, first thing is even if you don't know the Python or SQL, there is no worries. Okay, by the day 90, you will be writing the production grade code. Okay, all you have to maintain is that consistency and the open mind. Okay, if you bring these two to the table now, then we could achieve our goal of becoming a data engineer in our first 90 days. Okay, I have seen over 5 lakhs people who are placed under my what you call trainings, and I won't teach you only the Azure. I will build your Naukri profiles and I will help you on a one-on-one resume writing. Okay, what are the keywords must be used for getting hired by the ATS checker or any HR department? Okay, I will help you on the one-on-one sessions for building your library profiles and resume writing, and I also grill you using the what you call mock interviews for every week. Okay, now once we completed a specific module, we will going to conduct the mock interviews, one or two. Okay, now so that we will be ready to crack your first offer in these 90 days of span. Okay, now. So over in these 90 days span, we'll covering the, like a 3 months is the time duration, right? So we are getting the 4 weeks per month. It means that you are getting 12 weeks. So we will have 12 mock interviews and 12 assessment. Okay, in this entire 90 days trip. So, and one more thing, my teachings always include 40 to 60 rule. Okay, now it's a 40 to 60 rule. 40% will be a theoretical, and 60% will be a case studies. We will be looking into the what you call real world case scenarios where we'll discuss about what will be your first job role. First, when you get into the job, what will be your first task? From there to the what you call every scenarios, we will study them and understand them. And let's ask the questions whys as well and hows as well, and let's see them. Okay. Are you ready to start the what you call data engineering in Azure? Everyone, I need acknowledgement because if it having interaction session now, so that we could what you call it will be greater session. Okay, it will be great actually. So acknowledgement, please. Am I audible and is the screen visible? And what have been explained until now, is that clear? Or if anyone want me to repeat these things regarding my background and regarding the what the promises I made, just let me know. I will repeat it because I can see that you are have been joined just now. Hmm. No issues. Okay, before we starting, let me explain. Let's take a case study. Okay, before entering what you call into the our main course module one, let's talk about what is the data engineering actually. What will be your job role and what will be the task you will be handling once you get placed. Okay, now. So for that, let's understand. Let's take the case study of what you called. Uh, let's take our Instamart. Everyone know the Instamart, right? I guess. So they deliver the groceries in 10 minutes, right? Okay, so that's what you call the Instamart or Blinkit. All these what you call applications will provide you the groceries in 10 minutes, right? So, but the problem is that this Instamart or a Blinkit or any application which will provide you groceries in 10 minutes having the various amount of data, having the various amount of data. Dekho, we are the customers, right? We will order what you call place an order of any grocery using the mobile application. Using the mobile application. Am I right? There. And then not only that, the managers who are present at the inventory, at the what you call dark stores, who will be providing you the groceries, they have to store at the inventory, right? Those managers will store their what you call stock related data in Excel sheets. Yes. And then the team who will run the ads or the marketing team, you can say in a single word, these people, what you call, use the what you call Instagram or Facebook or the WhatsApp as well. And recent days, they are using the ads everywhere, starting with the game application to the any what you call YouTube as well. Again, let's say these are what you call marketing data. Okay, if you wanted to get the what you call how many insights of what you call Instagram, you need to use an API key so that you can get your data of how much insights does your ad have been traveled. So there's a lot of amount of data. Even these are the data for a single Instamart or the grocery stores. Am I right? So the mobile application data which you get might be is a unstructured or a semi-structured. Okay, and the data which you get will be a semi-structured. इनका मतलब है कि like for example, my name is Karan and I have been my order ID. Order ID will be like let's say INST167HYD. If this is my order ID and I order the items, order items, or will be like hmm, say I order the milk. I ordered what called this will be like milk 2 packets, okay, and eggs 6, and bread will be 2 packets. Okay, so these kind of data, right, will have when we place the order, and will also give the what called location details, yes, and the price structure, price details, and if I entered any coupon, the coupon details. Am I right? So this is the what you call the structure of the data which you will get from the application of a customer from the customer side. But over here, if you look into what you call the managers who manage the Excel sheets of the inventory, they have the file formats as like CSV file format, comma separated files, or else they have what you call traditional Excel sheets. Okay, dot XLS. There are the multiple formats for them. Okay, and sometimes they might also send you in the text format as well. So these are the what you call another kind of data. This is the another kind of data. Now the data which you get from the marketing team will be a structured data. Will be a structured data. Okay, how many sales have been what you call how many data you got, so you will be stored from your database, right? So there are what you call structured, semi-structured, and as well as what you call, if what you call the once the order is placed, once say that once the order is placed, we might get what you called uh, spoiled food. And what we'll do, we'll just click a photo, we'll just click an image and try to send that image to the Instamart or the Blinkit team and try to get our refund, right? Now here you are sending an image, here you are sending an image. Now image is an unstructured data, image is an unstructured data. Am I clear? So as I am sending these all kinds of varieties of data, there should be a fellow who need to manage all this data, right? So that is the nutshell of what you call a data engineer. Data engineering. That is a nutshell. In nutshell, we can call this as a data engineering. You have to manage this, you have to clean this, you have to transform this, and then you have to store this. Okay, no. So those are the basic tasks of a data engineer will be. Let's say that the CEO of what you call Instamart is asking a small question. It's a simple question. Let's say that he is asking like how many packets, how many packets of milk did we what called sale in Hyderabad, let's say between 6 a.m. to 9 or 8 a.m. Let's say the 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How many packets of milk we have what called sale? The question is simple. The question itself simple. But as we know that our data is called sales data will get from the multiple things. Sales will get from the multiple things. Some we get from the what you call the traditional databases called as SQL database. Okay, we get our what you call how many sales happened in the 6 to 8 p.m. from the Dilshanagar branch, from the Amirpet branch, and from we can say High Tech City, Gachipoli. How many what called sales happen in between the 8 to 10. So that you can find from the SQL database. SQL database. And some might be what you call live data, which you are getting from your mobile application. This is in the JSON format. This is in the JSON format. Okay. This is in the JSON format. JSON is a semi-structured format, right? JSON data. You might get the JSON data. These are the what called you can say the application logs. Okay, now and the marketing data which you got the structured data as well as what called you can get from the API keys. You can get from the API keys. Okay, API keys. Now, even though we got this data, we cannot answer the question right away. Yes or no? Because these data are what called different kind and or with a different format, which we are should be what called bringing everything into a what called single what called format. We are responsible to bringing all the data into single format and try to create the insights from that. Okay, single format and what called cleaner data. Uh, Someone is like having any doubt? Just let me know. Hello. Okay. Thank you. Any questions? Just let me know in the chat as well if you wanted to chat or text it. Just let me know. A quick acknowledgement will be better, or else I will continue. Thank you, Sandeep. Hmm. Hmm. Now, what we are going to do to answer the simple question like how many packets of milk we sailed in Hyderabad between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., what we need to do, we have to do this. If we think it as what you call a restaurant, if we think it as a restaurant, the data engineer will be a chef. Data engineer will be a chef. Okay. Why we call because why we call data engineer as a chef because what the chef roles will be, he generally chops the vegetables, cleans the vegetables, and then what called cook the recipe, right? Cook the recipe. So these things, what you call cleaning and changing their shapes of the vegetables, how the what you call customer preferred. For each recipe, the size will be different, and what you call the taste will be different, and the adding ingredients will be different, right? So the same things the data engineer do. Okay, now the data engineer ka matlab aap you are the future data engineers, right? So you will be cleaning the data, you will be what you call sourcing the data, you will be formatting the data, and you will be transforming the data. Okay. Okay. Now let's see that how you are going to do this. Okay. Now, so how you are going to convert these things means you are going to build a pipelines. You are going to build a pipelines. You are going to build the pipelines. Okay. What is will be pipeline? Generally, in if you take in what called general terms, pipeline is a something like it's a process. It is a process. You are going to create a process, a automated process. Okay, you're going to create an automated process which include multiple activities in it, which include the multiple activities in it. Okay. Now, if we think this as what you call water pipe, if they think it's as a water pipe, you will get the water from what you called a source, yes or no? And you have to store this in your what you called a tank. Let's say I have a water tank. I am getting the what you called the water from one end and to another end. This the first end where we are getting the data is called as source. Okay. And the last destination, the tanker, is called as sink. It's called as sink. Now, the multiple stages which we have here, right? These are called as activities. These are called as activities or tasks. Activities or tasks. Okay. Now, let's what you called in this. If you say water, what we have to do first? We need to what you call take the data, right? So I'm calling that as extract. I'm calling that as extract. Extract का मतलब वो निकालना. I'm get water ని తీసుకోవడాన్ని extract అంటారు. Okay now. Then we have to transform it. Right? Like filter we have to do. We have to clean and we have to add the minerals as well. Right? So I'm calling that as a transform. I'm calling that as a transform. Lastly, what we are going to do? We are going to load the data. Right? We are going to load the water into a clean tank. Yes or no? So this is what we call as ETL pipeline. What we call ETL pipeline. I call this as ETL pipeline. Why we named it ETL? Because firstly we are doing the extraction, and then we are transforming, and then we are loading, right? So this is called as an ETL pipeline. Now, in the what you called in our context of a data engineering, let's see what we will extract, what we will transform, and how we transform and how we load the data. Okay. Now, if I say what we call Instamart, we are going to first grab the data, sales data, right? We are going to grab the sales data. Okay, grab the sales data. If from where we are going to grab the sales data? From our SQL database. From your SQL database. Only SQL database? No, right? We are also going to get what we call the JSON data from the mobile. I'll say this as a logs. Okay. Let's say that okay, these are the two things which we are going to get from the SQL database. We are going to get the sales data, and from the application you are getting the JSON data. Then what you will do? First thing, you have to clean the data. Cleaning the data means, see, all the orders will not be placed, yes or no? All the orders which are what you called ordered by the customers can be cancelled at any time, in any point of time, right? Due to what you call the delivery mistake, or due to what you call the change of plans, a lot of factors will be affecting an order. So first thing, we have to remove the cancellation orders. First we have to remove the cancellation orders. Then what we have to do? Because let's say that some people will write Dilshuk Nagar as DSNR, some will write a Dilshuk Nagar. Okay, there are the what called different ways of writing a single name, right? So we have to bring this into a single standard. You have to bring it in a single standard. Some will write a spelling mistake like Dilshuk Nagar. Okay, we all should be like aware of this, because this data is not what you call a wrong data. Okay, now the intention is correct, but there are the what you call, there's no specific standard for this data. There is no specific standard for this data. So we have to create a particular standard and convert this as a what you call dil shuk nagar. So that if I convert everything into the what you call a specific format, then it will be easy for me to calculate the total sales. Then what I have to do? I have to calculate the total sales. Okay. Then this is what we call as a transformation. This is what we call as a transformation. The grabbing the sales data is called as extraction. These are the what you call the process involved in the transformation. And then last you have to what you call serve the data. It means the clean data after the all this transformation you will get clean data, right? You have to store this data again. You have to store this data into the data into the data warehouse. A data warehouse का मतलब ये होता है कि see data warehouse is a one format or what you call you can say as a one location for the data where you will store only structured data. Okay, now you can take this as a one of the SQL DB as well. You can take what you call this warehouse as a SQL DB as well. Now, this DB will only store the structured data. Okay, now it will only store the structured data. Now, your job as a data engineer will be completed. Now, the data analyst in your organization will take these what you call structured data and try to create the visualizations and then generate the what you call insights. Generate the insights for your CEO who asked the question of what you called what is the total, how many packets of milk we sold in Hyderabad between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Okay, understood? So what happening is, first in our Instamart or any grocery application like Blinkit, there are the different kinds of data. Starting with the mobile application, we'll get data like this, right? Let's say Karan is the name, you will get order ID, and the order items will be milk, how many milk packets I ordered, eggs, because only customer won't add only milk, right? He will add other items to the cart as well. So you will get these all this data. So the question is like what you call only milk, right? So you need to only extract the milk. You need to only consider the milk. If you consider the other details, what happens? The storage is like a unnecessary storage, right? If you wanted to calculate only for the milk, you need to only take the milk data. Why need to take the other data as well, like eggs and breads? That's not a necessary, right? So this is the difference between a junior developer and a senior developer. ठीक है, junior developer क्या करते हैं? He will take all the data, and try to what you call clean that. But cleaning the eggs data or bread data is unnecessary because our context is that I have to what you call give a calculated amount of how many packets of milk did we sell in Hyderabad between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. If the context is only about milk, I can only take the milk data. Yes or no? So that is the difference. Now, if what you called that data, what you call that milk packet is expired or something happened, now, you will what you call you will just click a photo and send. So that is the unstructured data. Here from the mobile application itself only, I am getting the semi-structured data and unstructured data image. And for the what you call the store managers who are going to manage the inventory, they are going to use the Excel or CSV and text format data. Yes or no? And the marketing team, what if you say in Dilchuk Nagar, the milk of Amul milk is what called used by most people. Then the people who are residing in the Dilchuk Nagar, they will get ads of only what you call Amul milk packets, right? Because that's how the marketing works. Okay, the marketing data which you will get from the API keys is a structured data. So here only we have structured, unstructured, semi-structured data, right? Now we have to take all this data and try to clean it and bring it into a single format so that it can be answered the question, it can be answered the our above question. It can answer our above question that how many packets of milk did we sell? Okay. So for that, how you will do? See, if for example, if your CEO want to what you call check this one at 9 a.m. Check this at 9 a.m. You cannot wake up at 8 what you call 8 o'clock and try to do these things, right? What you will do? You will just create a pipeline. You will just create a pipeline and it will do automatically the things when it is scheduled time. Okay, let's look into that. How it is actually happening. Now you can also ask a question that why can't we why we need to build a pipeline? Why can't we write a simple Python script? Okay, now yes, we can write a simple Python script for all these activities as a code and we can execute them. But in real time data, in real time the production, you cannot guarantee that we will get n number of orders, right? N number of orders will get. There is no what you call clarity. You can get what you call from 10 orders to 10 million orders. You can get from 10 orders to the 10 million orders. Am I right? So the size is not what called, it's a what called, it's not a what called fixed value, it's a dynamic value. Yes or no? If it is, you are writing a script for what you call 1 million, 2 million, but the data which you are getting from the customers is a 10 million, then automatically your system will be crashed. Your system will be crashed. So to prevent this, we are going to utilize the concept of Azure. We are going to utilize the concept of Azure. Okay. Now here the Azure, the cloud platform will be coming to effect. Why we need only what you called learn Azure? Anyone have any doubt? Like I can hear the mic sound. So just let me know if any having any doubts, or if you wanted to like understand more into that concept. Just let me know. Okay. Sure. Now let me minimize. Okay. Mm. No. There is a what a lot of questions from your end. It might be doubt sessions as like why we need to use only Azure? Why we need to only use Azure? Because there are the other cloud services as well, like AWS or Google Cloud Platform GCP. Why we need to use Azure means the only reason with my experience I can give you that most of the Fortune companies. Okay, now most of the Fortune companies they use the Azure. They use Azure. Most of the Fortune companies uses the Azure, and they have been incorporated Azure to the infrastructure from you can what call you can say from the past 20 years before only. From the past what you call 20 years or 10 years before, they have started building the Azure services slow by slow, and right now they created what you call a big infrastructure of what you call Microsoft Azure. I guess everyone know that Azure is a Microsoft product, Azure Cloud is a okay. And next thing is Azure Cloud is providing us with a multiple wide range of variety of tools. We'll get wide range of variety of tools for each process. For every single process, we have it too. So even if you are like not good at what you call the programming, if you have the good command in using those tools, and if you can somehow manage what you call the coding somehow, then you can get what you call data engineering job. I'm not saying that data engineer never code. He actually code in what is called Python and PySpark, but you need to be also aware about the what you call drag and drop services and the tools which are provided, because there are say let me say there are two cases. Okay, you have to write what you call at least 500 lines of code, or you have to what you call drag and drop few things. So which will be better? Drag and drop few things will be better, right? Instead of writing 500 lines of code. So using these Azure tools, we can quickly scale our what we call pipelines. We can quickly figure it out. We can schedule our pipelines. So everything we can do. Now, let's see what are the tools we are going to cover in our curriculum. Let's start with what we call Azure Data Factory. Let's start with Azure Data Factory. Now, Azure Data Factory we call it simply as an ADF, simply as an ADF as well. Now let's go back to our case study. Let's go back to our case study. Here, what you called we are getting data, right? So if we, I say early morning, you are what you call director who asked the question, want that data at 9 a.m. Now you are not going to wake up at 8 a.m. every day and run the script and email him, right? You will have to sleep. You have to do your personal work. Right? So how you are going to achieve this? How you are going to achieve means using the Azure Data Factory. Using the Azure Data Factory. Here, Azure Data Factory is like an orchestration tool. Okay, now he is like a manager. He is like a manager of your all data. He is like a manager of your entire data. Manager of your entire data. Okay, now he never and remember this point. Azure ADF never stores the data. Never stores the data, but always manage. It's like a traffic police for us. It's like a traffic police for us. It will move the data. It will move the data. Okay, and it will also allows us to schedule the task. It will also allows us to schedule the tasks. Like if you say that every morning 8 o'clock, the ADF should contact my what you call SQL what you call database. I am going to write a what you call I'm going to create a schedule and a task that ADF should go to my SQL database and fetch the new order details in the time between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then what you call run the pipeline in the pipeline and move them into a storage, move them into the storage. If I can create this task, then at 8 o'clock it will run at every 8 a.m. It will run every day at 8 a.m. this task and help my director to get their answers. Okay, so there is no need for me to get up at 8 o'clock and do the things or run the script. Okay, now why as I said, why we are not only using what we call Python scripts, we are going to also include this what we call ADF. These are the tools, these are the Microsoft Fabric tools provided to support the data engineers, provide to support the data engineers. Why? Because you can scale it, you can scale it, and it also have a visual interface. You can scale it up. Let me write it out here. You can scale it up, and you can use the visualization tool. Here in this visualization tool, you can able to understand what data is failed at which stage, what data is failed at which stage, and what data is successfully moved to your storage. You will get everything using what we called ADF related to managing your data, related to managing data. Now, in this Azure Data Factory, we are going to learn about pipelines. We are going to learn about pipelines, pipelines, and then we are going to learn about activities. These pipelines and activities are used to move our data, to move our data. In this Azure Data Factory only, we are going to learn about triggers. We are going to learn about triggers. Why these triggers? These triggers will automate our tasks at a specified time. At a specified time, it will automate our task. Then, not only this, we can also include the integration runtimes. We'll also learn about integration runtimes. We'll also learn about integration runtimes. Integration runtimes का मतलब ये है कि this is your actual engine, the RAM and ROM, how much RAM size we have to configure, how much ROM size we have to configure, everything depending on what are the data you're getting. For example, if I'm getting the 10 records, the 5 KB or 10 KB of storage is enough for me to store those what called 5 or 10 order data. Now, if I'm getting a million of the orders, then what I have to do, you have to scale it up, right? This integration runtime will scale your RAM size and the ROM size automatically based on the data it is what you call managing. The data which is managing, it will automatically scale it up. So it is a better tool to manage your data, to move your data. Okay, so if you learn this ADF, if you learn this your Azure Data Factory, you have solved at least 40% of data engineering problems. You will be able to solve 40% of your data engineer problems. Up to here, everything clear? I need an acknowledgement from everyone. Up to here. Just a thumbs up symbol also will work for me. Thank you. Okay. Now you understood what you called this what you call ADF. ADF. So generally, when I said what you call ADF, Azure Data Factory, we are going to use this to move the data, right? Move the data. Now this is your what you call first part, first initial part of the data engineering. Data engineering. Then you're going to learn about what you called a lake house. What you called a lakes. Why we have to learn the lakes means, as I said, we got a what you call multiple varieties of data: structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. Okay? Semi-structured. Right now, as you can store structured data in your what you call traditional SQL database. But what about unstructured and semi-structured? You cannot store the unstructured and semi-structured data in your SQL traditional RDBMS, right? So you need a place where you can store the data, where you can store all kind of data, irrespective of what you call the data type, the data format. You need to store everything into a single place, into a single place. That we call as a data lake. That place we call as a data lake. The place where we can store all kind of data, irrespective what format it is. That's called a data lake. Okay, now on the data lake you can pour what you call, if you think it's a like a big tank na, take data lake as a big lake na, you can pour water over there, you can pour oil over there, you can pour what you call kerosene over there. It means oil, kerosene, water, these are the different types, right? Structured, unstructured, and semi-structured kind of things. Okay, now so in Azure, what is the tool, what we call in Azure, this one we call this Azure data data lake storage gen 2. Gen 2 is a what called new version. We call it as short form ADLS Gen 2. Okay, in short form we call this as ADLS Gen 2. ADLS stands for Azure Data Lake Storage. Azure Data Lake Storage. Now, why we need to use this ADLS? Because first thing, it is cheap. First thing, it is cheap. You can store terabytes of the data for only what you call in some hundreds and thousands rupees. In some hundreds and thousands rupees only, you can store terabytes of the data. Okay, and the flexibility, it have a flexibility to store all kinds of data, structured and unstructured. Next thing is it is a scalable. It is a scalable. Even if you have 10 records, it will store. Even you have what you call 100 records, it will store. If you have 10 million records, it will store. It will automatically, when the data is coming, the new data, based on that new data size, it automatically increases its capacity. It increases in capacity. There is no problem for us. Even we get what you call 1 TB of data every day. For every day also we can 1 TB of data now. That's not a problem for us when we use the Azure Data Lake Storage. When we use Azure Data Lake Storage, I guess everyone have a rough understanding of what is the Azure Data Lake Storage. Okay, now instead of throwing every files into the lake, if you throw that, now if you throw that, what will happen? It will be harder for you when you are identifying, when you are searching for a single file now. For example, I'm what you call, I throwed every data, all files which are needed, 1 TB of data, I throwed into the Azure Data Lake and Azure Data Lake. So what we have to do, we have to use a specific format, right? Like there is a concept called as hierarchical namespace. There is a format called as hierarchical namespace. Hierarchical space का मतलब क्या है कि in the old way, let's see the old way, how the people before this what called Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 1, in the first version, what they did, there is a what called blob storage. There is a storage called as blob. It is like a bucket. Think it is like it. They throw every files. They throw every files, and they cannot able to create folders. They are not able to create the folders. After looking into this problem, they came with a generation 2 version of ADLS Gen 2, that is called ADLS Gen 2, where we can create a file system. Where we can create a file system. I guess everyone know how to create the files in your operating system, right? Whether you are Mac or what you call a Windows version, a iOS version, you what call, you know, there is a file system, right? You will create a folder, and you can also create a subfolders, right? You can also create a subfolders, and then you will place what you call the files. There you will place a files. Excuse me, I'm checking the chat. Okay, Navin Kumar, how feasible is ADF in terms of connection to on-premises servers like Oracle? Yeah, that's a good question. I guess you are working with SQL database, Oracle database in your organization. So you are talking about how feasible this ADF, right? We are not going to learn these tools as a different formats. Okay, now we can connect. You have the what called various multiple options, around like a 150 options to connect the types of data. You can connect Oracle, you can connect what you call MongoDB, you can connect to what you call your what, if you are having your own premises on premises server, you can connect with that. Know that I have Azure SQL, you can connect that. Know that I have what you called in AWS S1 bucket, I have the data, you can store that as well. Okay, this ADF is compatible with around 150 different options. It will come with a 150 different options. Now, will that answer your question, Navin? Will that answer your question? A quick acknowledgement will be
Yes,
quick.
yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Now you understood like ADF feasibility, right? Now let's going what you call when we are talking about ADLS Gentoo, right? In this, as I said, we can create the file system and we can have that. So let's circle back to our question. Circle back to our question. What we have, our question is like as a we are a data engineer, we are data engineer of a what called say Instamart. We are going to get what you call all this data and store it in our ADLS, right? We are going to store this all kinds of data in our ADLS. Now instead of storing that, I will create a file system. How I will create file system means I will create three folders. What I will do, I will create a three folders. First folder name I will give as a bronze. Okay, I'll give as a bronze. Second folder I will give as a silver. I'll give as a silver. Third folder, I'll give name as a gold. I'll know as a gold. Now, your bronze, what is the why you need like this is called a medallion architecture. Why medallion architecture it is called as because bronze, silver, gold is a what you call medals names, right? In our when you are in the school days, we have the medals, bronze medal, silver medal, gold medal, right? The same concept over here as well. Okay. That's why this is also having another name called as medallion architecture. Okay, medallion architecture or medallion hierarchical namespace convention we can call anyone. ठीक है तो ये ब्रॉन्ज में क्या होता है सिल्वर में क्या होता है गोल्ड में क्या होता है देखते हैं ठीक है ब्रॉन्ज में in this bronze I won't share what you call all the data in bronze. I'll create a subfolders here. I will store a subfolder. I'll create a subfolder called as Instamart, and then in this Instamart, okay, sorry my bad. Instamart, I will create a what you call bronze. In that bronze I will got a date today date if say like 11/02 and 2026. I'll create another folder with a date so that all today's date data will get. Next, the data which I'm getting, the files which I'm getting from the application, the JSON from application, I will store this as orders raw data. I will store that orders raw data because it's a raw data, we never cleaned, right? We never transformed, right? So I'm calling this data as a raw data. Raw data ka matlab I am storing the data as it is. I'm storing the data as it is. How I get the data? Okay. In silver, na how will the let's say Instamart. In Instamart, I have a silver. In that silver today date will be there. Let's say 11/02/2026 here, and in that I will store the orders data, but I will rename it as a cleaner data. I will store the cleaner data. I will clean it and I will reformat into the .csv. I will remove the null values. I will fix the date. I will remove the duplicates. I will clean the data and then format into a .csv file. Now here this is after the cleaning. So the raw data can be stored in the bronze. The cleaner data is can be stored in the silver. So now why we need to use the gold? Because cleaning is completed and what we call we also store it right in the silver layer. Why we need to create a gold layer means now in these what you call silver layer and bronze layer, you will get all kinds of data. You will get all kinds of data like what you call as I said what you call milk packets and eggs. In the what you call let's see what are the order what we place in the order uh, milk, eggs, breads. So now these data having what you call milk का data होता है, eggs का data होता है सब. Now what I want in the gold layer, I want only daily sales report of milks. I need a only what you call milk daily sales report in Hyderabad, right? So I need only these things. So I will create what I call another report. I will create another data structure. I will create another what you call file where I will store only the milk. Now this gold layer in here, I will apply the aggregation functions. I will what you call I will do sum of how many packets I have been ordered from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then I will give it aggregated value. This aggregated value will be used by a data analyst. Now, from this, I can give the data analyst. For the data analyst, I'll give the access to the gold folder only so that he can get the cleaner data and he complete his assignment. Okay. So now this is how I store the data in ADLS. In ADLS. ADLS का मतलब ये है Azure Data Lake Storage. Azure Data Lake Storage. Clear? Up to now? We have what called a look into the overview of ADF. We have looked into overview of what called ADLS. Now, then, what you call the, let's talk about universal language of data. Let's talk about our universal language of data. What is the universal language of data? Mostly widely used language for the data manipulation, SQL, right? Even like if you are a non-technical background or a technical background, you cannot escape from learning the what you call SQL. SQL is like a must and should. You have to learn it. And in this our course, we will cover this SQL in the module 4. In the module 4, we have a what you call this module is completely dedicated for SQL. Now we'll learn the SQL which is used by the data engineer, which is used by the data engineer. SQL का मतलब क्या है? Structured query language. Here in SQL, we will only say what we want. We will not write the whole code like how we need to get the data. We just mention it as a what we want. What we want. That queries is called as a what we call SQL queries. Okay, now this is how we call as a this is data what we call dictation language. You can also call this as a dictation language. We will not explain it like we will not write the code like how to do that. We'll just write a query that what we wanted from where we wanted. Okay, now what we wanted and where we wanted. Now these SQL have the three submodules. One is DDL. DDL का मतलब ये होता है कि what called data definition language. Data definition language. How to create the tables and how to update the tables. Next is DML. Data manipulation language. Data manipulation language. Here we will understand how to manipulate the data. How to manipulate data. Then next will be data what you call transactional layer. Okay ना it will मतलब access किसको access देना है किसको what you call grant and revoke. I'll say grant and revoke. किसको access देना है किसको access नहीं देना है और किसको access दे दो तो उनको कैसे revoke करना है. ఓకే ఒక యాక్సెస్ ఎట్లా ఇస్తాం యాక్సెస్ ఇచ్చినాక వాళ్ళకి నుంచి ఎలా యాక్సెస్ గుంజుకోవాలి మళ్ళీ ఎవరికి మాత్రం యాక్సెస్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలి ఎవరికి ప్రొవైడ్ చేయకూడదు ఇవన్నీ డీటెయిల్ తెలుసుకుంటాం ఓకే నా and we'll also learn about what is called how to filter the data how to filter the data and how to use what you call searching the data okay these also we'll look into what you call a CA or CSV. Yep. All this data and while we are discussing in the SQL okay. Now let's see a simple SQL command. For example, if I wanted like all the orders, if I wanted like all the orders, okay, now from like a okay, all the orders data. I wanted all the orders data. So for that, how many? What is the SQL command I will write means? I will write select product, you know, from orders data and group by. I'll say product. Okay. And if I wanted to count how many orders are there, how many orders are there, if I wanted to count that one, I can write aggregation function called as count over here. And then I will what you call write the SQL query. Now, if I execute this query, I will get what you call the product details grouped by each product, all the milk at one, all the eggs at one, all the breads at one, and how many milks are there, how many eggs are sold. All this data I can get. Okay, now, with a single query, with a single query. Okay. Now in DS SQL, we are not going to learn like what you call a traditional way. We are going to learn this SQL in Azure itself. There is a what you call tool called as Azure SQL. Okay, now Azure SQL database. There is a tool called as Azure SQL database. Now using this tool, we'll understand how to run these queries. In this platform only, we will learn how to run these queries. Later, then we'll go to the Synapse SQL. We'll go to the Synapse SQL. Okay, we'll learn two things. Azure SQL database we'll learn and we'll also look into the Synapse SQL. Okay. Once we cover these SQL topics, we will go into what we call the Python language. Okay. We'll go into the Python language. Once we cover the Python language, it's a programming language. This is the only language we are going to use in our entire what we called data engineering journey. In this Python, we are going to learn about PySpark as well because PySpark is what it is called a core engine. It's a PySpark is like a core for a data engineer. It's a core subject for a data engineer. Using this PySpark में का मतलब ये कि writing the Python language, understand the Python language, using the Spark architecture, using the Spark architecture. Okay. Spark is a framework or like which is designed to handle the multiple databases in parallel, using a distribution network, using a distribution network. Distribution network का मतलब ये है कि see if my laptop having a 7 GB, if my laptop having a 7 GB of RAM, now I got a 10 GB of data. I got a 10 GB of data. How can I run it? I need to take another laptop of a 3 GB, at least 3 GB, minimum 3 GB, and I need to connect to this one, and then I can what you call utilize these two computational power on this 10 GB. Am I right? So that's how distribution network will work, but in a larger scale. In a larger scale. Okay. Once we learned what you call Python and PySpark, we will enter into the what you call heart of a data engineering called as a Databricks. Called as a Databricks. Databricks. Now, in these Databricks, you will understand where you have to write the code, Python code. In this Databricks, we will write a Python scripts using the what you call PySpark language. Using the PySpark language, we will write what you call the codes here. We will write the scripts here, and we can also write SQL also. In the Databricks, you can also write your SQL queries. You can learn about your data using the SQL queries inside the Databricks itself. Okay. Now. Now let's connect to the dots. Let's connect the dots from where we have been taking the example. Okay, let's connect all these concepts one by one. Okay, first, what we have learned about what we called Azure Data Factory, right? We have learned about Azure Data Factory. Now, before that, we need a source. We need a source where we will get the data. Then we will create a pipeline. Then we will create a pipeline. This pipeline can be created in Azure Data Factory. In the Azure Data Factory. Then we will store the all the data from the multiple sources to a single lake. That is ADLS. Okay, na? ADLS Gen 2. In the ADLS Gen 2, I am going to store the data. I'm going to store the all kinds of data from multiple sources. Then I'm going to transform the data. I'm going to transform the data. So I need a Python script type to transform a clean. I can do that in the database. I can do that in a database. Once I done that in the database, I have to store that. I have to store that in my. I have to store that. For that, I will use what call. I'll use what call if I have a store structured data. I will store in my SQL database. Know that, or else if I have the multiple formats of data, I have what you called I hear something. Does anyone have a query? If no, then we'll store in the Delta Lake. We have a Delta Lake. Check it out. We have two lakes called as Delta Lake, and there's a Data Lake as well. Data Lake is what you called where you will store all kinds of data. Delta Lake means after the cleaned the what you call last data, the last output data which is utilized by what you called data analyst will be stored in the Delta Lake. Will be stored in the Delta Lake. While we are going to discuss the Databricks, we will go deeper into the what is the Delta Lake, how to create it, and how to store the data in that. Okay, so this is what you call. You can say this is a half of the data engineering process. This is a half of the data engineering process. Okay, not a half. You can say like 80%. 80% of data engineers spend their most time into these what you call these Azure tools. These Azure tools. Okay, if I wanted to put everything into one together, no, I can also put that as well. Let's say a customer is buying the milk packet, buying the milk packet in our application. Let's say in our application a customer is buying that milk packet. So what we'll get the data like item milk. Next, the price kya hai? Okay, 20 rupees. I'll say from the location, say that from DSNR, he got. Now then what we'll do using ADF, what we will will create will create a will create a trigger. Now this trigger early morning 2 a.m. from early morning 2 a.m. it will start. Okay, now what it will do, it will pick the data from what you call the source. It will pick the data from the source and will send that to the what you call storage. It will send that to the storage. Now our ADF will what you call, it will move the data from the source to the ADLS to the ADLS. Once the ADF drops my thing in what you call, in which folder it will store? It will store in the bronze layer. It will store in the bronze storage file. In the bronze storage file, the ADF will drop the what you call the data from the data. Once it is dropped, na, then what I will do, I will use the what called transform. I will transform using the PySpark script and SQL. I will clean the data and I will transform. I will transform. Then the transformed data I need to load. I need to load the transformed data. Now this is what we call as ETL, right? Extraction. This is the extraction. This is called transform. This is the load. That is the ETL complete pipeline. That is the ETL complete pipeline. Okay. Up to here, I want everyone confirmation that you have understood the concepts, or I'm open for the what you call doubts. Okay. Okay, Sanjay, thank you, and Baba, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, you're
Hello.
on.
Hi, Karan. Anuj this side. So my question is, we are using ADF for the transformation, I guess. Uh,
Come again.
uh, I'm saying we are using ADF for the transformation part, no?
You can use the what you call. That's why I said what call. You can build a pipeline in the ADF. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
ADF in the ADF only you can create a pipeline. You can write what you call transform that. But with also there what called if in some organization, let's say I have worked in the Deloitte, I have what you call as a Databricks engineer, as a Databricks engineer. Now they wanted me to write. They wanted me to work as a data engineer using the Databricks platform. Using the Databricks platform. Why? Because there's a legacy that from the last few years they are working on the Databricks platform. There's already the infrastructure is set up. So if I wanted to do that, I can do that in the what you call Databricks as well, right? So that is the
Mm-hmm.
reason these codes included all the tools which are required and utilized by every organization, and it's a complete roadmap for that. So if you are aiming for TCS or Deloitte or EY or what you call any 500 Fortune companies, you will learn all the tools which they are using. Okay. That's
Okay.
why when I write what you called ADF, I written that we can create the pipeline. We can create the pipeline in the ADF itself. No, I want to only do what you call. I can use the ADF for only movement means you can also use for the movement. You can also use the movement because I also said that what you call you have to create a trigger, right? You have to create the trigger, so that you can do in the pipeline itself. Will that answer your question, Anuj?
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you. Now, any other queries? Everyone, I need a quick acknowledgement, please, so that I can continue. Okay. I will take that as a what you call no worries. Just a minute. This is a new chart. So the PySpark script will automatically pick the data and the load the data. See, Python PySpark script will create what you call checkpoints data. Okay, no, will create checkpoints data. Once we given what you call the location, the path from where it has to take, there is a concept called as autoloader. There is a concept called as autoloader. The autoloader will take the data from your designation path files. If I give the bronze file, the location is what you call this location, then the what you call the PySpark will create. They will use the autoloader so that it will take the what you call the new data, which will come in the new data. Na? It can pick it up and it can transform it and it can run the three layers. It can run the bronze layer, it can run the what you call the transform layer, it can silver layer, it can also run the gold layer. So you can do this all three in the Databricks itself. You can do all the bronze layer, silver layer, gold layer in the Databricks itself. Okay. Few people do the whole data engineering in the Databricks, but few people use a multiple tools. Few people use a multiple tools. Why? Because the reason why most people use a multiple tools, because there is a reason. There is a new concept called as a Microsoft Fabric. There is a new concept called as Microsoft Fabric. I hope most of the people are known, or even if it's not known, no niche, we will cover that one as well. Microsoft Fabric. This Microsoft Fabric is allowing us to use all the above mentioned tools in a single platform. In a single platform. Okay, and we can also have what you call Power BI as well in this Microsoft Fabric. So even you are what you call, it will also provide you notebooks to create the models. So if you are your data engineer, data scientist, data analyst, everyone of a organization can work on a single platform. Can work on a single platform. So ऐसा नहीं होता कि data engineer data will be stored at one place and the data analyst should always ask for the permission. There is no required for this. This what you call this separation of data engineer, data analyst, data scientist का separation हो गया ना, ये the what called Microsoft Fabric is eraser that boundaries between them, eraser the boundaries between them. So you are using this Microsoft Fabric, every people, the data engineer, analyst, and scientists can store this all the data in one storage called as one lake. Now that is called as a one lake, a single storage lake for everyone, where you can what you call store the delta lake, data tables, and transformer data, everything, and the what you call the records of what you call data analyst use. Everything can be used at a one single storage. So it's like a one storage for one organization. So one storage, one organization. Right? Okay. So that is the Microsoft Fabric, which we are also going to cover in our what you called entire course. Will that answer your question, Abhi? Quick acknowledgement. Yes, thank you. Mhm. Mhm. So, for the what you call time being, just allow me for the 10 minutes. I will use my restroom. Okay, na? Just for the 10 minutes. Until that, you can discuss among yourself and you can what you called what have a internal conversations with you, your friends or here who have been participated with here. Any Azure related certification support? Yes. Myself having completed the DP 900, DP 700 certification, Azure under associate and Azure specialist. Okay, I will help you out of giving the modules, giving the knowledge and the other logistic services for you, so that it will help you for your preparation. Okay, we will also provide the preparation for your DP 900, DP 700 certifications. Ko bhi. ठीक है नवीन? Because we have seen multiple candidates have been pursuing their career using the global certifications. We know that what these certification exams have, the what kind of questions. Mostly they are the what you call multiple choice questions which have been answered in the 90 minutes. Okay, so for that you will having from, let's take ADF से लेकर uh, until what called Databricks, we will have the multiple case scenario questions. Okay, now those also we will cover in what you call in our 90 days curriculum.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. So just give me a 10 minutes. I will come back. Hi Yogesh, I'm back actually. Until now, I had never spoke. I went for a short break. Thank you for your patience. Appreciate it. Am I audible now, Yogesh? Thank you for confirmation. Okay. So let's talk about what you call the Python. What in the Python, what we are going to cover, what we are going to learn in the Python. Let's see. Okay. The initial modules, if you have the what you call course structure, you can see that first we are going to learn a basic Python. We're going to learn about a basic Python. In that Python, we will understand about pandas, pandas, and NumPy, SciPy, and Matplotlib, Seaborn, all these things. Okay, it's a general Python, and the most important thing is file handling, and exception handling. Okay, these will come under basic Python. After that, we'll go to the SQL, and later will come from the what you call PySpark. Later will come for the PySpark. Okay. Now, why we need what you call why we need to use Python? Why not other languages? Because Python is what you call it will take what you call less amount of memory and resources. Okay. Even though the Python was actually created and using the C language, Python will be like easy to anyone to understand the language. Python is like a quick entry gate, a wildcard entry gate for any non-IT or IT. Anyone can learn Python easy way. If you know English, you can run the Python easily. And using the Python, we can exactly tell what to do for the all the Azure tools because Azure tools are built based on how the Python will work. Okay, so that using this Python, we can simply explain the Azure tools like other what you call it, the scripting, data breaks or anything easily we can handle these tools. We can handle these tools. Okay. And if we talk about big data, if we talk about big data, let's say our Instamart, it is growing 1,000 orders per day. It is growing the 1,000 orders per day. Okay. If you try to process these 1,000 orders, if I say like at some point it is taking like a 10 million orders. At some point it is taking the 10 million orders. So if you try to process these 10 million orders in our laptop, what happens? It immediately freezes and crashes. Yes or no? So for that, what we are going to use? Well, we are going to use a distributor systems. We are going to use a distributor systems. Now, these distributor systems are using the Apache Spark. Are using the Apache Spark. Okay. This Apache Spark is like having like a let's say if one computer cannot handle what call our 10 million data, 10 million orders data, if one computer cannot handle, it will take 100 laptops. It will take 100 laptops and create a link between these 100 laptops parallelly or vertically or horizontally and try to finish the task. Try to finish the task at the same time. Now we call this each laptop as a node. We call this each laptop as a node. And this what you call this what linking of these two systems can be happen two types. One is we call as a vertical scaling, another we call as a horizontal scaling. Horizontal scaling का मतलब ये होता है कि I am taking the 10 laptops of a 10 GB. I am taking 10 laptops of a 10 GB and connecting them to execute my task. Or else you can increase your RAM size. You can increase a single laptop RAM size to 100 GB. That is what called as a vertical scaling. Vertical scaling का मतलब ये होता है कि we are going to increase the capacity of RAM and ROM of a single computer. Of a single computer. Horizontal scaling matlab same like that computer we are going to add 100 more nodes, 100 more nodes. See? So that's how the Spark works. This is called as simply as a distributed processing. This is called as a distributing processing. Now using this Spark with what you called Python is called as a PySpark. Okay, now running the Python scripts through the distributed networks, that is what you call a you can call that as a PySpark in a nutshell. Okay. Now, what we need to write in what call there is a one concept like say that AI is coming everywhere and most of the tasks it is doing by itself. Let me be clear. In the Fortune 500 companies or in any big what you call organization, they use the AI for the decision making. For the decision making, they don't use the AI for what you call uh, for the numerical values, for calculating anything, for what you call it, for computationing something. Okay, now all these things are not handled by the AI. Why? Because AI can hallucinate. AI can hallucinate. It means, like, say, if I give in like a, and in fact, I never give an image. Take your Gemini and ChatGPT account, try to ask how this my image is, how my image is. It will say that, okay, it will hallucinate that you have already uploaded the image, and it will say that your image is good, your image is, say, it is like a, it don't know how to say no. Most probably, most of the times it don't know how to say no. So it will hallucinate itself. It will create its own assumptions and try to do the what you call computation. That's how actually LLMs are built. So if we have, if you assign the task of this data engineering to the AI, na, it can mess up our data. It can mess up our data. And not to mention that our data which is presenting in the on premises is highly confidential. It's highly confidential. So we cannot ask the AI to do all the tasks for us, because it's a third party application. Most probably, if you wanted to build your own AI, that can be also possible, but it takes a lot of computation power, right? So most of the organizations do parallel things. They build their own AI, as well as they will also use the other AI enterprises level API keys. Okay, na? So by that they will manage the how they are taking the decisions and how they have to improving their what you call the outputs. Okay. No, that's what you call. You can throw the question of what AI is handling your data engineering, because I have seen that there are the two tools which are like becoming the buzzwords. One is like a cloud AI, I guess, CLAW AI, Cloudbot. Okay, now anyone heard about that? Cloudbot, CLAWBOT. It says that this AI agentic AI bot can take over your Linux computer and can do the tasks like a human, because recently these using this cloud bot now, most of people are like confusing in their IT career whether they have to pursue IT or go to non-IT, because if these kinds of thing happens, is my job is at risk? That is a basic question for everyone occurred in the IT industry. But if you look deeper into the how the cloud AI works, it works based on the what you call prompts which is given by the user. It is works based on the prompts given the user. I have seen like multiple YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, and Instagram shorts that the AI are creating their own community. But this how they are creating their own community, because someone is writing their prompts in the underhood. Someone is writing the prompts. AI itself cannot think by itself. Okay, now actually AI will work when you feed it some knowledge. Okay, now when you train it, right? So by AI itself cannot create the communities itself. Someone have been actually prompted it in that way. Based on that prompt, it is acting that. Okay, but this underhood mechanism was hidden by like it's not became popular. But most of the only rumor which is spread that AI agents are creating their own communities. It's like the end of the human era, and it's all the nonsense stuff is coming over there. So there is no issues. The Cloudbot AI, any agentic AI which coming in the up, what you call in the future as well, we will adapt it to our infrastructure, because the Fortune 500 companies are working from since the 1990s, right? They already built the infrastructure. They already did, and this Azure is what you call developed by the Microsoft team, because there is a what you call bigger R&D team with the Microsoft, right? So if they haven't launched a new AI which is really revolutionizing, they will try to incorporate with their tools. Okay, it won't any tool which is coming next in the future generations as well, next in 10 years. It may be taken next 10 years. It cannot take place or cannot replace the entire infrastructure which is available right now, which is available right now. If you are like what called IT working companies, you might hear the terms called as what called risk team, compliances, and audit. These terms will be familiar with you, because the team lead want always want a leadership want always want to use the AI because of the trending. But the security team says no, how we can use, because it's a precision error, it will be there, and we cannot do for that. So they are mostly using the AI for the decision making. They are using for the decision making. So if anyone have any like a doubt, like pursuing data engineer course in 2026 is the right choice, then I say it's a completely right choice for you if you are wanted to make your mark in the data science. Okay. There is a what you call a lot of ladders in the data engineering as well. Data associate, data specialist, and what you call, you can climb the ladder as a data engineer 1, data engineer 2, and the senior level. Your pay will be great, and your work will also like interesting, because we are looking into real time data, right, and working on that data, so it will be interesting as well. Okay, any doubts on that aspect? Anyone having like any queries regarding what will be our job role and job responsibilities, how it will be, so day to day activities, what we will do? Any questions on related to that? I'll take that as a no. Okay, let me talk more about what we call this Databricks. Okay, now, in Databricks, if you go visit that what you call Databricks account, na, it will give you like a what you call, the right side. You can create notebooks. You can create your own notebooks. In these notebooks, we are going to create our Python script, PySpark scripts. Let's say Python PySpark scripts. We are going to write that. In the top view, if you look closely, you can find the options like triggering, automating the task, connecting with your SMS, connecting with your WhatsApp, or connecting with your Outlook, or connecting with your Teams. Why this? And there's also what you call system called as a utility governance, called as a utility governance. Using this utility governance, we can monitor each and every log. We can monitor each and every log, what's happening in our data picture, using the visualization tools. Because if you give a report, what you call a document of what happening, there is no one have that much type of reading the 50 pages, right? So instead of that, Databricks have been in what you call integrated the visualizations to its what you call tracking mechanism, so we can understand which API key is failing, and which data is what you call performing, and how much time it is taking, how much your RAM size is taking, and so that you can also optimize things. How you can optimize the things means, let's say that in my source I have what you called 100 files. I have 100 files, but these 100 files are having like less than 10 kb, let's say one having the 10 kb, one having 8 kb, one have what you call 7 kb. If I process it one by one, it will take much time. Even though the 7 kb can be processed in the what you call instantaneously, shifting from one file to another file will take that more time, right? So to decrease that time, Databricks will provide you a concept called as a Z ordering. ठीक है ना? Z ordering, using this what you call this Z ordering techniques and optimization techniques, you can convert these multiple files. You can convert these multiple files into a single file. You can combine these multiple files in a single file of a what you called, let's say 10, 8, and 7, right? How many? 14, 15, 25. So 25 kb, it will create a single file of 25 kb and process the single file. So there will be no need to travel 100 different files. There is no need to travel 100 different files. As we are taking the small scale like three files, but in original it might be hundred and thousands also. So shifting towards one to another for the thousand, it might take at least 10 to 20 seconds, right? So that can be saved. That can be saved using the Databricks. So Databricks is mainly named for its speed and collaboration. You can write what you call code on your notebook at the same time, just like you are writing in the Google Doc. And you can also call your what you call friend developer into that notebook by giving the access. Now both of you can work on a single notebook. Both of you can work in a single notebook. No, we want to work on the two different notebooks. Me and my friend developer are working the two different notebooks and wanted to keep it separate, but we want us to store in a single storage. We wanted to store the data in a single storage. That one also you can do. That is what you call collaboration features provided by the Databricks. Okay. And the last thing is, the Databricks is known for its a delta lake. It's known as a delta lake. Okay. Delta lake, it is like a secret weapon for the what you call Databricks. It will store the what you call high speed SQL databases. Okay, now delta lake ka matlab already the processor, the cleaner data which we are doing in the gold layer, right? The gold layer data can be stored in the delta lake. Can be stored in the delta lake. Okay. Now, what kind of problems does this what you call this Databricks is solving, right? For example, if you are having the what you call, say Flipkart, there's a big billion days, right? In these big billion days, like they will get for every day 5 terabytes of data. You'll get a 5 terabytes of data. Now, the report you have to submit in 30 minutes. You have a 5 terabytes of data. Now you have to submit a report to your director in 30 minutes. So how can you do this? You can you can complete that computation of 5 terabyte data in 30 minutes using the database. So how means, because database is using what you call spark architecture, right? Database is using spark architecture, right? So you can change the cluster. You can change the, there's a concept called as cluster का मतलब ये होता है कि how much resources you are using. Cluster का मतलब ये होता है कि your RAM, how much you are using, ROM, how much you are using. You can configure your cluster at any point of time. For example, right now I'm configuring as what you call 3 GB, or no, let's say 30 GB, and 30 GB of RAM, and what you call, let's say, 2 terabytes of ROM. If I process this one, at some point of time, I'm getting like, I need a faster execution. I need a faster execution, so that you can create another cluster. You can create another cluster you can create another cluster with a high configuration. With a high configuration, let's say that I'm doing the new cluster like a 100 GB of RAM, and what you call 10 TB of ROM. And you can connect you can connect this second cluster to your notebook to perform the same script on a larger scale data. Okay? I hope and everyone is able to understand what I'm discussing. This I need a quick acknowledgement, please. Thumbs up symbol will also do. Thank you. Okay. We already talked about what we call Microsoft Fabric, right? I guess that is the last module which we are going to work on it. Microsoft Fabric will be the last concept which we are going to work on, that how to utilize the Microsoft Fabric tool, and what called how to connect, how to integrate the multiple tools like ADF and ADLS and Databricks, how to integrate all these three in the Microsoft Fabric, how we are going to configure it. Everything we will learn in the what we call the last module called as a data engineering using Microsoft Fabric. Using the Microsoft Fabric. What is the problem the Microsoft Fabric is solving? Anyone? Because recently I have explained that what is the problem the Microsoft Fabric is solving. Anyone?
All the tools are at the single place.
Exactly. So that we are having a single end-to-end platform. Microsoft Fabric is a simple end-to-end platform. Simple end-to-end platform. Let's say that, like, okay, let's circle back to our Instamart example. Let's see what problem is solved by the Microsoft Fabric. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Let's say that we have what you call Instamart application. Now, if you wanted what you called, we had to go to like 5 different pages in Azure. Taken up for the storage one platform, for the pipeline another, and for the database another. It is like what you called taking the multiple parts and fixing together like a, everyone know cars, right? Automobiles, how the car is manufactured. The engine will come from Germany, tires will come from the Japan, and seats will come from Italy, and they will try to assemble in India. Yes or no? Same thing what happened in what you call in IT as well. In Databricks or what you call data engineering also, in the that is the traditional concept. They are going to get the what you call use the data movement using ADF and storing in the ADLS. So there is no what you call all in one book. There is no all in one book. But introduction of Microsoft Fabric, na, it what you call it erased the boundaries between them. It erased the boundaries between them. For the storage, in what you call Microsoft Fabric, you have one lake. You have one lake. For the ingestion, you have data factory. You have a data factory. For processing, you have Synapse. You have a Synapse data engineering. Okay. Or no, if I wanted to create the reports as well, you wanted to create dashboards as well, Power BI is also already integrated. Power BI is already integrated. So from the end to end, from storage to report building, for storage to the report building, we are going to teach you how to do everything in a one platform called as Microsoft Fabric. So if you learn this Microsoft Fabric, you will be 80% ahead of all the data engineers who are like pursuing their career. Okay, in this our 90 days program, in our 90 days program, we will cover and we will master these things. We'll master these things in the Microsoft Fabric as well. Okay, the only philosophy of Microsoft Fabric means one what called one data, one platform for every tools. Okay, now it's like a all in one. It's like a all in one. Okay, so as per the point of view of a data engineer, what will be the best practices and what will be the worst practices? Okay, before we talk about the jobs now, I wanted to give a small tip in your first job, that so that even like no one will be judging you. Okay, now no one will be judging you. The worst practice is if you wanted to create a pipeline. Okay, now if I wanted to create a pipeline for the Hyderabad sales, for the Hyderabad sales. Now there is no need to what you call to hard code the word Hyderabad. There is no need to hard code the word Hyderabad, because before when you what you called what happens means, tomorrow if the CEO wants the Bangalore sales, tomorrow if they want the Bangalore sales, what happens? You need to create from what you call from scratch. Okay, because you have been created the Python script for the naming as in Hyderabad, naming it as in Hyderabad. But even irrespective of the location, if it is Hyderabad or Bangalore or Chennai, the code will be same. Yes or no? The everything will be same. So for that, there is no need to create multiple scripts for that. So the best practice is we'll use the concept called as parameters. We'll use the concept called as parameters. Using these parameters, we will write only the one script. We'll write only the one script, and we'll ask for a single question, that which city are you going to cover? Okay, if you wanted to city, what you call, if you say Hyderabad as a parameter, it will give the all the what you call sales data regarding only Hyderabad. No, if you wanted to Bangalore, you can do that. So using these parameter concept, now using these parameters concept, you can write only one script for all the similar reusability code, all the reusability code. Okay, and some might also think that how can I share, how can I link my API keys in the Azure? Okay, because API keys are something which are the very sensitive, right? So you cannot hard code them into the Python script, you cannot hard code them into the Python script. So what you can do is, there is a, what you called a concept available in Azure called as Azure Key Wallet, called as an Azure Key Wallet. Okay. In this Azure Key Wallet, now you can store all your keys confidentially and use the ID of the key, use the ID of the key in your script, so that even if you what you call a security breach happen, your password is not visible in that. Your API key is not visible in that. Why? Because Azure Key Wallet will hide your keys in the and keep it in a digital safe. Keep it in a digital safe. Okay. Now, everyone remember the Mendelian architecture, right? Bronze, silver, gold zones. Now, what is the main zone here? The bronze, gold, silver. What is a major layer where like all your most of the 90% or 80% of your life will be spent as a data engineer? In which layer will spend most of the times? Anyone can answer? Most of your data engineering time, in which layer you will spend? Bronze layer. Okay. Any other answers? Any other answers in the middle architecture? In which layer we are going to spend most of the time? Okay. If you ask me, like in which thing I will spend most of my time, I will say it as a silver layer. I will say as a silver layer. Okay, we are like correct. If you are saying the bronze layer, we'll use the bronze layer to load the data, right? See, once you already configure the sources, there is no need for reconfiguring again and again, right? On the day one, let's say you are working on complete bronze. Okay, now on the day one, you complete on the bronze and configuration all the sources which you have. On the day two, there is no need to work on that, right? Because already it's configured. So what we have to focus on, we have to focus on cleaning the data, because the new data can be different from the old past data, right? There will be like a new keys, new rules might be applied, so new kind of what you call cleaning techniques we might learn. because on the day one itself you're not equipped with the what you call 100% knowledge, right? As your case studies, as the experience goes, you will learn how to change the code, how to optimize code, right? So you will spend your most of the times in the silver layer. You will spend your most of the times in the silver layer. Okay. So now let's talk about most important part of our whole training. How do we get a job in 90 days? Yes or no? That is the only major target for all the data engineers who are available right now. How do we get our job in 90 days? Now here, I am not being you as a trainer. I will be as your career coach. I will be as your career coach. Starting at the foundational level, we will master the SQL and ADF. We'll master the SQL and ADF. So let's say that by this end of the month, okay, now today is the what you call 11th, right? By the end of the month, you will be building your first end-to-end pipeline. You will create the first end-to-end pipeline. Let's note down this. What I am saying, what are the promises I am making? Let's note down this. First thing is, by this end of the month, if we start the course tomorrow itself, from the end of the month, you can build your first end-to-end pipeline. End-to-end pipeline. Okay, that is the first promise I am going to make. And what is the second promise? In the month two, we are going to cover the what called heavy concepts. We are going to cover heavy concepts, starting the Python, then PySpark. Then we are going to also cover what we called Databricks, and little introduction about Microsoft Fabric. Microsoft Fabric we are going to do in the month two. Now here only in the month two, all the weeks having the what you call, we will have a weekly doubt clearing sessions in the month two. We having the mock test for every module. We are having the weekly mock test and doubts clearing session as well. We will dedicate only the every Saturday or every Sunday. We will dedicate the whole class for only doubts clear. The candidates or the what you called the data upcoming data engineers who are joining this session are going to join on Saturday or Sunday only to clear their doubts, regarding their assignments or any previous concept which we have taught. So that we will make sure that you will be like already ready equipped for every concept. Let's say I covered a module one today. In this week, in this weekend on the Saturday, we will having a doubt clearing session on the complete module from the beginning to ending. It's like a summary. It's a what you call summary session one day. Again, after that, after we completing two modules, we will having the what called mock test. We will having the mock test on what called two modules. Mock test one will be on first module. Mock test two will be on the second modules. Third thing, the most important phase, the third month, what we will concentrate is, in this third month you will spending totally for one-on-one resume building. resume Building. Second thing is Naukri profile building. Again, in third month, mostly focused on these two things every day, one-on-one sessions. And later that, we will having the every day, like in a week, let's say in a week, we'll at least have three interviews. We'll have three mock interviews kind of thing, and three FAQ exams. Okay, now where you have to choose multiple correct answers in that, so that I will give the exact questions what I have been asked in the TCS and Deloitte. Okay, we have a FAQ toolkit, which are the frequently asked questions from the past candidates who have been attended as well. So we will provide you those FAQ tests as well. Okay, and then last, like how you are, like how to speak, because we cannot, as a data engineer, if you go to data engineer, you are already an IT professional. You are already an IT professional. Okay, just a minute. You're already an IT professional. So how you have to answer that for a query? If what you call, if someone asks for a question, how should you answer as a senior? Again, because you're already a senior, you are already in some esteemed organizations, you have been switching your career to a data engineer, right? So how confidently you have to answer, what you have to answer, what you not to have to answer. Okay, na? And will also help you in building your GitHub accounts. Okay, na? All the code or all the training which we are doing in this, na, will upload to the GitHub. We will upload to the GitHub. Okay, So this is how the entire 90 days program will be going through by me. Okay, na? So that's how the process we follow in the what you called in our NSP next ID career. That's how we are going to build. 40% will be theory and 60% will be case studies. Like today we have taken the case study of what Instamart, right? Every day we'll take a what you call a case studies and we're going to discuss it again and again. Okay, na? Instead of building the multiple projects now, what I believe is that create a single project where you will go to the all depths, where you will go to the all depths, starting from what you call writing your first version one to until you will get a version where you have a what you called optimized code. Okay, now so increasing the depth will help you to understand different case scenarios. Different case scenarios. So far, I would like to take what you call the questions from your side. Is there anything you wanted to discuss with me apart from all this? I'm open for that. Okay. Think with yourself and think with your peers. Contact me, contact what you call NAC department. Okay. If any doubt, you can, and it will be a daily 2 hour sessions in this course. Okay, now it will be a daily 2 hour sessions. If you wanted to interact with me also, it will be a best opportunity. You can interact with me by explaining what is your prior experience, how you wanted to continue into data engineering. Okay, so that will be better for me to understand you more about, and we can continue with like a more focusing on customizations. Okay, come on, guys. If nothing is there to discuss, just let me know using a thumbs up symbol. Acknowledgement.
Yeah, I'm having one question.
Yes,
So,
Arun.
is there any difference between Microsoft Fabric and the Azure part? Means kind of an ADF
No,
and
no, no.
synopsis.
No,
So,
no.
is it
See,
like in a similar or means what?
see, Microsoft Fabric is simply it's like what you call having a all the tools in one platform. Okay, now the only new
Hmm?
concept you will learn in the Microsoft Fabric is one lake. Okay, now how to store the data so that your entire organization can what you call have the same the workspace. Okay, the whole concept like Azure ADF क्या होता है? As Microsoft Fabric में भी वही होता है. ठीक है. So Azure Microsoft Fabric is not a what you completely entire new tool. You will only need to have a what you call a 5 days sessions on the Microsoft Fabric to to understand how to integrate all these things in a one platform. That's it. Will that answer your question, Anuj?
Yeah.
Navin, please let me know your query.
If you enroll for the session and if you have any doubts, like how can we contact you?
So for everything, they will be creating a communication channel between you and me, and every what you call you can contact me personally, or else you can contact through what you call the WhatsApp groups, which we are going to create, where we will share the all the logistics and FAQ questions and all the materials as well. See, once you enroll in the session, now you will get once the class is completed after the 1 hour of duration, like 8 to 10 hour class, before 12 only you will get today's notes, what we have discussed today. Okay, in that group itself you can talk about, you can have a discussion, you can start discussion in that group. Now if you wanted to communicate freely with me, you can have a one-on-one conversation on Saturday on a doubt clearing sessions. Now if you wanted to get immediate clarification, you can contact me. I will be available. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, Yogesh.
Is software tester going to can join the
Data
our
engineering.
course?
So you
Yes.
are a software tester. You wanted
Yeah.
to prepare switch. That's completely agreed, and it will be better for you because as a software tester, You have seen more cases, right? Because you tested the more software means you have experienced more how the data will be there, how the data management will be there. Yes or no? Am I right?
Yes, yes.
So, as you have seen as an experienced candidate, if you switch your career into data engineer, na, so here instead of only testing, you're also having to you are also manipulating the data. See, you are already having the experience as a tester. You have seen the real life experiences, how the data is there. Now you are going to manipulate it. That's it. You have to only learn the manipulation. So your experience will be educated to compare to the other what you call candidates who are attending the interview. If you are, like say, I am attending the interview, you are attending the interview. So if the HR will see that the person is well experienced, if I hired him today, with the end of the week, he can what you call adapt to our infrastructure and do that. Because as you are a software tester, you have seen multiple case scenarios, right? So you will have an edge case, you will have a most what you call advantage. So definitely, even if you are a tester, you can pursue your career as a data engineer. It will be great.
Okay, thank you.
Any other queries from others? Please let me know.
Yeah.
So even if you are what you called you are at a starting point. I don't know SQL, I don't know Python. It will be a great opportunity to learn along with the data engineering. So there are no prerequisites. Okay, now there are no prerequisites to learn the data engineering. In this 90 days course, now you will get fully equipped and fully experienced with multiple case studies and multiple experiences on how to manage the data. Okay, so that's all what I wanted to say. We you see, it's not like a trainer and a candidate. It will be like a we are all a one entity who are trying to achieve a single target that you need to place in the 90 days. You need to place in the 90 days. That's our target. So everyone is will be working according to that target as well. So we will have a complete support from our end and our network. See, because we are running the institutes from past 7 to 10 years back, you know. So using our materials, like I'm not like saying that use my materials and get the job, but what I wanted to say that we have the materials of our already previous past students. So every day, every day we will update our materials. Every day we will update our materials so that you can able to experience the real-time interview simulation here in the next idea. Okay. So if nothing there to discuss, then we can wrap the session. Jyoti, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, yes, sir. We have completed what you call this demo 1 day session. We have explained the course overview. So is there anything you wanted to add to this, or else we can wrap the session?
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, team. Thank you, candidates, everyone. See you in next class.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.